Hey guys, did you ever make a mistake that you regretted in Arknights? Unless you've watched guides for every possible feature in the game, it is likely that you've blundered across a mistake that taught you a valuable lesson. In almost 3.5 years after the game's launch, we're going to talk about some of the biggest mistakes you can make playing Arknights. Instead of me sitting here and sharing my own opinions, I invited my Twitch chat to share their biggest mistakes. So yeah, thanks in advance for watching and enjoy the video. Let's get started, chat. I'm excited to read some of your worst mistakes. Not using the 252 base and not farming enough XP and gold for 1 year. Oh, interesting. I haven't looked into it that much, but 252 is a lot more efficient if you actively play the game. If you log in twice, 3 times every day and manage it, yeah, maybe you can push out some more resources, both XP tickets as well as LMD, sure. But a lot of people just like me are pretty lazy, you know, we don't always manage the base that well. And some people actually don't have that many operators to switch out. If you enjoy that, guys, if you enjoy being optimal in this game, sure, why not? Absolutely do 252. 333, no, don't do 333 unless you want LMD, but there's no reason to do that. Always go for the most balanced approach, chat. Play the way you want to play. Not having farmed enough XP and gold for 1 year, hey, that's not a big deal, right? You got resources, you got time. You'll eventually play the game for 2 years, 3 years, right? And even if you quit, then so what? You know, you saved your time. That's completely fine. I have bought all the Originium packs. Wow. Yes, you've made a mistake. And thus, your credit card is now in shambles, brother. You know what? That's okay. At least you gotta enjoy some extra rolling that some of your free-to-play friends could not do. So, congratulations. Nyam says, I didn't understand the use of vanguards, so I actively didn't use my 6-star ops because I thought they were too expensive. Bro, actually, I've heard this from a lot of players. Supposedly, a lot of new players actually go through this issue. Do you guys sympathize with this, guys? When you first started? Yeah, honestly, when I think about it, does the game teach you to use vanguards? I remember the only reason I started using vanguards is because I watched a Tectone guide. I'm pretty sure that's why. Otherwise, I would also just throw my 6 stars and be like, holy shit, they're so expensive. Why are the 6-star operators so expensive in this game? Let's just use 4 stars and 5 stars, you know? But yeah, like, how did you guys learn what a vanguard was? Like, bro, that's pretty complicated, right? Like, the game doesn't tell you to just use vanguards first. You know, that constant flow from vanguard to ground and aerial units, right? This really goes to show also that I think watching guides is just very important for complicated games like Arknights, right? Arknights is very complicated. It sounds bad. Part of me would rather watch a guide to learn something than reading it in game. Isn't that funny, guys? It's like the same analogy where you don't like listening to your parents, but then when you listen to some random fucking stranger or your teacher say the same thing, then you're like, oh, yes, I get it. That's just my opinion. Raising a questionable skill to M3 during CC just for the sake of flexing, Keck W. What? Oh no, Tama, why? Okay, it happens to the best of us. CC is one of those times where you feel that obligation to M3 and E2 operators, right? Right, guys? Like, no other time in the game do you feel that kind of pressure, so I understand. That's a reasonable mistake, right? But the fact is, you know, CC, there's really not much to show once you risk 18. Yeah, that's it. But if you're a content creator and you play a specific niche, it kind of makes sense to do some of these outlandish things during CC to at least get some content out there. No, don't do that, guys. Save your resources. Don't expend them unnecessarily unless you're really trying to prove a point, which is fine. Aberkillo, I farmed Originium in the base. Oh no. Using the rock shards because I'm broke and trying to save. It's also the reason why my units aren't level or promoted yet, sad. I heard that this is super inefficient. Like, if you farm Originium, or what's it called? Originium shards using rocks, it's very inefficient from a sanity to Originium conversion. Because especially if you're free to play and a lot of your passive resource management is coming from your base, you want your base to be as efficient as possible to generate you resources. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of time in CE and LS stages, which you don't want to do with your sanity. Because as you're free to play, you want to spend all that sanity in events to maximize your output. The recommendation, chat, is no matter what you do, don't do the rock Orundum farming in your base. I actually have never done it myself, but to give you an example, in your trading post, you see Precious Metal Order and Originium Order. You can actually change a strategy right here. Don't make this mistake, though. It's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. Buying skins of operators that you don't have. Wow, this is actually something that I did as well. I did this, chat. Do you guys do this? Is this a mistake, though? I guess the only mistake that can come from this is the desire sensor to get that operator once you have bought that skin. There's that added pressure because, like, this is a gacha game, chat. If you're free to play and you want to min-max your OP spending and management, you're gonna feel very, very pressured to get that operator on a standard banner or something, right? Because usually when you buy a skin like this and you don't own the operator, it's usually for an operator that you don't have. Either you spend a lot of money for them and you didn't get them, or that you just weren't playing during that time that it ran. So that is very unfortunate. That's a lot of pressure. But honestly, like, it's not the worst because eventually you're gonna want that skin, right? So you might as well buy that skin. You can't use it for a bit. Eventually you'll get it, right? Eventually. It'll just take some time and you'll just be in pain for a bit. But, you know, that's how you have to cope sometimes. Akusa, wailing to max refresh. No! So I could clear all the stages and reach level 120 in a few months. Bro, this is a whale problem. And I actually think this is a lot more prevalent than you think. Okay? I do the same exact thing. A lot of people have done this, all right? If you guys refreshed from the beginning, you've, like, definitely done this. The adrenaline rush of max refreshing to 120, it is so high. It keeps you going. It makes you love the game. It makes you log in every day and refresh like 10 to 20 times. Like it's actually uncontrollable. But like every whale out there, once you reach 120, you reach like this existential crisis and you're like, bro, why? Why did I burn $100 each week to do that shit? Once you get there, you realize how meaningless it is. And on top of that, there's like no value to your level. Like it's literally just like an element that Hypergriff threw in there to keep players in check, you know, be like, yeah, here's a little progress. It's a mistake. Just own up to it. It's fine. It happens to all the whales. I was newish and didn't pay attention to upcoming schedule and had little appreciation of what a limited banner really meant. I was really addicted to pulling. Oh no, no, no. And came into the R6 event basically broke. Oh no. I swiped a few times, used 100 pulls, and Ash never came. Oh no, 2 years later now, and I can't believe I didn't force it to 120 just to pull her. Wait, what? You went all the way to 100, but didn't spark her at 120? Oh no, Papa Pickles, the true limited banner never to be had. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Oh my god. Wow. It's like when you hear stuff like this, I can understand why people rage quit, you know? You spent your hard-earned money just to get scammed by RNG. It's a really bad feeling. It's really bad. And yeah, the fact that unfortunately Ash is never coming back, it just feels really bad. I'm sorry, Papa Pickles. Skipping NTR to get Ling only to never use Ling and now have to save enough to spark NTR on Texas banner. Yeah, that's a pretty bad mistake. This is actually why I think having clairvoyance on future banners because of the CN and global time difference, it's just a curse, honestly. For a lot of free-to-play players that care so much about saving for these limited operators, God, it's just so much pressure. You hear how good Ling is, maybe you don't want to use her, you just hear how great she is at destroying stages, and you don't hear the same thing about NTR, so you just skip NTR to pull for Ling, which you never end up using. It's like, okay, wow, like that's pretty bad, you know? But that's like all personal preference. You hear so many people talking about it, how could you stop yourself from doing that? I spent OP to refill sanity to use on drone refreshes because I was missing LMD to E2 an operator on a non-LMD day. What the fuck? Bro, what is this try-hard free-to-play fucking mentality, bro? Holy! You gaslit yourself into doing like 3 processes just to get LMD? What? Bro, this is like desperate to the max, man. Like, I don't know why this is like you couldn't wait for the next day. But you know what? I forgive you. It happens to the best of us. This just goes to show how avid of a player you are. So respect. Kylan says, not using sanity in the beginning of the game and letting it pile up and not knowing what farming is. Yeah, no, that's a very big mistake. For sure. Capio insanity is like probably one of the most common things you'll see in any gacha guide. Like when you hear guides that are like day 1 tips, like top 15 tips to getting into Arknights or any gacha game, spending sanity. Don't let your sanity cap. It's that simple, you know? But that's fine. Because no matter what game you play, the first like 3 to 5 hours of the game, you'll probably be capped unless you like have a way of storing sanity. It's going to happen in Genshin, it's going to happen in PGR, it's going to happen in Arknights, it's going to happen in Blue Archive. It happens in every single game. They make it so that it seems like you have so many resources to play with and encourage you to play so much within the first 4 to 5 hours of the game. But then eventually it's fine, you know? Just don't, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Trying to get P6 Ling, but got P11 Li instead. Sheesh. The gacha gods have struck you. You know, that's a pretty good sign. This is why, chat, one big thing you should think about in a gacha game that you play going forward is, does the game have it hard pity? Hard pity is important in a game like this, you know? Thanks, guys. That was good. I think we got a lot of great insight, and hopefully that's enough to make like a few-minute video.